Well, Gina, we have a beautiful day here at the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. Tell us a little bit about the history of the gardens and the zoo.
Okay. The zoo actually opened in 1914 here in Jacksonville, and since then we've grown to be one of the largest attractions in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida.
You know, when we're going around and touring around the zoo, it seems so big, but it's quite compressed, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We are really spread out as far as, the foot traffic is concerned, but we do have a condensation of the exhibits, and the gardens are throughout the zoo. That's very unusual from what other zoos normally do. We've integrated our gardens with the animal exhibits.
So as you go around the zoo, you can see the gardens as well.
Absolutely. It enhances the guest experience quite a bit.
Let's talk about one of the special areas that have the koi, and what do you call that area?
That's the Asian Bamboo Garden,
Mm-hmm.
and we just opened that in March of this year. So it's our newest exhibit.
I bet there's a lot of weddings that go on there.
Yes, there are, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That area and other areas of the zoo as well, but that's a real popular area because of the Moon Bridge. It makes an excellent venue for the bride and the groom to stand up on the Moon Bridge and everybody to see them standing all around in the beautiful gardens.
What do you think makes a good zoo? What makes the Jacksonville Zoo stand out?
One of the things that we hear over and over again about our zoo is that you have a better opportunity to get closer to the animals that are on exhibit and have interaction with them. We're one of the few zoos who offers giraffe feeding, for instance, at our giraffe overlook. And the kids just love that. We have Stingray Bay where you can pet and feed the stingrays. And we have a petting zoo, so to speak, in our play park area where you can groom the pygmy goats and feed them. So we have a lot of interactions with the animals for our guests. Another example is our lorikeet area in the Australian exhibit, where you will get a cup of nectar and go into the exhibit, and they'll land on your shoulder, on your arms, and even on your head at times to get that nectar.
Wow. Well, and it is an interaction, I guess, that we always look for rather than just staring at exhibits.
That's right. And not only is the interaction important, but the education factor. We're trying to educate our public about the animals, and conservation of the animals is one really big objective of our zoo. It's important to us that we educate people to understand that animals are going extinct and that we need to support various organizations like the zoo so that we can prevent that from happening. We've had too many animals go extinct because people aren't educated about the situation.
And of course you have some animals here that are handicapped, if we could put it that way, which is the reason why they're here and not in the wild.
That's right. We have a couple of whooping cranes, which are very rare. There's only 400 of those in the wild. And the reason that we have those birds is because they were a part of a flight training exercise, and they had bad knees, so they couldn't participate in the flights that they were trying to get them to do to get from one area of the country to another. So they looked for a zoo that had experience in dealing with birds, and we have a lot of birds here at the zoo, and so they gave them to us.
I noticed that you try also here at the zoo to make the areas so that you're not really looking through a lot of fencing.
Absolutely. We try to make the exhibits as much like the animal's natural habitat as possible. And I think we've done an excellent job of that. As an example, the range of the jaguar is our most popular exhibit because of the NFL Jaguars that are here in town. And thanks to them, we have this exhibit because the owner of the Jaguars, Wayne Weaver, gave us the majority of the money to build the exhibit. But that exhibit is a twice national award-winning exhibit for a South American themed area in a zoo. And we are very fortunate to have it because it does show you exactly how animals that live in South America actually live, the areas that they live in.
Now, I know, of course, you have an admission to the zoo. You have members of the zoo. You can be a member of the zoo itself. But that really doesn't pay for some of these massive areas that you're going to be adding. That really comes from corporate, doesn't it?
That's correct. We have a capital campaign that we do whenever we want to open a new exhibit, and that campaign is initiated so that we can contact people in the community, corporations, individuals who are philanthropic, and we have a lot of support here in the Jacksonville and Northeast Florida area for donating to the zoo, and we are really fortunate to have that.
We've got a nice day today, a little wind as people can hear from my microphone, but this is kind of the winter time, which is a little bit cooler than the rest of the year.
Yes, it is. As anywhere in Florida, as you'll experience, the summers here in Florida get very, very hot. And that's no different here in Jacksonville. So our warmest months are from June through August, and August is obviously our hottest month.
Gina, of course, you could spend the whole day here in the zoo. And while you're here in the zoo and gardens, you're going to get hungry. Are there places for us to have something to eat?
Absolutely. We have two big restaurants here at the zoo. One of them is located at the Range of the Jaguar. It's called the Palm Plaza Cafe. And in it, you'll find seating close to windows that go from the ceiling to the floor. And they show you everything that's going on inside the Jaguar exhibit. And a lot of times the Jaguars will be pacing back and forth in front of the windows, which makes your meal much more exciting, obviously.
Definitely getting a show at the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
And a full complement of different food, different entrees?
In the South American restaurant in the Range of the Jaguar, they serve South American food, nachos, Doritos, all of the different variety of Mexican foods you can find there, and they're all just delicious and very comparably priced to those that you would find outside the zoo.
And what about this Bubba Burger I hear about?
Right. We serve Bubba Burgers exclusively here at the zoo in the Trout River Grill restaurant. And that restaurant serves all American foods, chicken fingers, salads, any kind of food, burgers, obviously, and French fries, any of the American foods that most people like.
Now, if someone wants additional information on the zoo, how can they get that?
They can go to our website at jacksonvillezoo.org. O-R-G.